In this episode, the battle at Bathurst. Ford is getting back into F1, and we recap the clash at the Coliseum. Welcome to episode 174 of the We Are Auto Show. What's up, Derek?
Mr. Michael Rao, this past weekend, there was actually extremely good racing on.
Ooh, yes there was, and unfortunately I did not get to see it because I was out of town.
There was one hot mess, which we'll talk about later, and then there was one good race, which we'll talk about now, because that was the Bathurst 12 Hours.
Ooh, Bathurst!
So, this was a race down under, down in Australia. It is a 12-hour endurance race that starts in the middle of the night, like 4 a.m. their time, and goes till 4 p.m. their time.
So, from a fan's perspective, we know that when you go to sports car races here, there's a whole bunch of really rowdy, quite drunk people.
Mm-hmm.
If you're really rowdy and quite drunk, and you live in Australia and you go to watch the Bathurst, what's the way to do it? Do you camp and party the night beforehand and just keep partying and drinking until the race starts?
I don't know.
Like, do you nap in the middle of the day prior?
4 a.m.?
Wake up from your nap at 8 p.m., start drinking and eating dinner around the campfire up on Mount Panorama, right? Mm-hmm. And then just keep drinking until 4 p.m. the next day.
Is
that how that's supposed to go?
4 a.m. would be a very inconvenient race start time for a fan.
Or do you just go to sleep at 6 p.m., wake up at 3 a.m.,
I think throughout
the week...
And then
you just have coffee and Kahlua and Bailey's.
Yeah, I think throughout the week, you try to shift your wake-up time earlier and earlier. That would be my plan.
It's Monday, you wake up at 6. Tuesday, You're 5:45, 5:30, 5:15, until you're falling asleep at 6 and waking up at 3. And then you just start drinking Kahlua and coffee.
I think so. I think that would be the play. And I'm pretty sure that that's what it was, because the stands were not full, but they had people there when they started, the hillsides and whatnot. They had people with chairs set up, but it was definitely not full. And by the middle of the race, it was full. A lot of people had strolled in. So I don't think a lot of people there start the race. They wake up and then go to the race.
Got it. Other quick little note that I do like is this an SRO series?
It is an SRO.
Right? At the Bathurst, see the leader lights on the windshield?
Mm-hmm.
I like that they also light up the first 3 letters of the driver's last name.
Right.
That, in my opinion, is helpful.
That is very helpful.
Jules Gounon right there leading that.
Mm-hmm.
That's really helpful.
I do wish that IMSA had a way to tell what driver was in the car.
Yep.
They don't currently.
I wish IMSA did that.
Yep. One thing that SRO does better.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, this was a fantastic race to watch. It started off in the dark, and you got to see brake rotors and exhausts and flames and fire and everything. There were not an abundant amount of crashes. It's about what you'd expect. Something like 3 or 4 cars retired due to crashes and putting it in the wall hard across the top of the mountain, up and down the mountain. Basically, if you crash on this track anywhere that is going up or down the mountain, your race is over. It is toast. Because the walls are so narrow throughout this racetrack. You have no chance of saving it. You're doing 1,000,000 miles an hour with really narrow walls, and it's over.
I always like to joke about Bathurst. The great thing about Bathurst is there's so much runoff for offs on the top of the mountain, isn't there?
No, there's not.
There's exactly nothing.
No.
How many inches would you like? 1.5?
Not even. It's crazy. But it makes for some amazing racing, because the drivers have to be super committed to the corners.
Yeah.
And when something happens, it's usually big.
Huge.
Yeah. And that happened to a couple cars. But the last hour and a half of this race specifically was fantastic.
I caught the highlights of it.
We had an absolute battle between 2 Mercedes and a Porsche, just brawling it out for the last hour and a half. If you want to go back and watch, it will be up on the site soon. I'm going to probably put it up on the site in this next weekend. This next weekend I'll be running this race in iRacing.
Ooh, you're running at Bathurst.
Yeah.
So last time you ran an iRacing race at Bathurst, or not at Bathurst, but an iRacing race, the 24 hours at Daytona, you told me you did not have any incidents in your stint whatsoever.
No. The first two that I did. No.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I don't think that's gonna be the case at Bathurst.
I'll give you this. My personal. How do I put this? I will not spin the car. If someone runs into me, that's on them. Or if they're parked across the top of the hill and I hit them, what can you do? It's across the top of the hill. They're committed corners where you're blind. There's nothing you can really do. I will not spin the car, though. I can guarantee you that.
That's a bold guarantee.
It is. And I'm only in like the middle of the pack for skill rating. So there will be guys spinning it across the top of the hill. I can guarantee you that. But I will not be the one of them.
So back to the real Bathurst 12.
Right.
What happened here?
This race went down to the wire with 3 cars battling it out, 2 Mercedes and a Porsche. The 2 Mercedes got into it with about 45 minutes remaining in the race. They went down to the chase, which is a very high-speed downhill section where you go into really hard braking. And one of the Mercedes punted the other one pretty blatantly. These are also 2 Mercedes factory drivers, and funny enough, they were racing in the same car last weekend at the Rolex 24. And they won their class. So they both had the Rolex watch. One of them was wearing it in the car.
I was going to say, were they wearing it during the race?
One of them was, yes.
Good.
And for this race, there is an Australian sponsor that gave them watches if they won the race. So in 2 weekends, he got 2 different watches.
Well, now I have to know.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of the watch company. You'll also see in this photo right here, Mr. Valentino Rossi, the motorcycle legend himself, was driving in this.
Yes.
Pretty cool. He was running a BMW. I think they finished in the top 5. I'm hesitantly saying that. Maybe they didn't. But very cool to see him there. He did a lot of fanfare, a lot of autographing, which is awesome. All of his interviews are just classic Valentino Rossi, which is fantastic. This race was awesome to watch. Highly suggest go and watch it. Put it on the background and just let the Australian mates and John Hindhaugh bathe you in the Bathurst 12 hours.
It was the Bossell was the watchmaker.
Do you know who they are?
No, it's an Australian watchmaker.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. It's a cool idea, though.
Quick note that when I was watching a little bit of the highlights, that BMW right there, I think it is. That's the Valentino Rossi BMW with the Augusto Farfus and Maxime Martin. That's Team WRT. Didn't they have was some sort of penalty or something for non-visible brake lights?
They, from what I could tell, the dirt and debris and oil and I don't know what happens on the back of or the sides of the BMWs, but when we were at the Rolex 24, the Turner BMW always has like dirt and rubbish on the back or on the sides. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
It's always like a film of weird stuff. I don't really know what it is. But it got so bad on that car that you couldn't see the brake lights, or the marshals were saying they couldn't see the brake lights. So they had to come in and clean the back of the car.
Ooh.
Which is very odd because no other car manufacturers had that issue happen to them, nor do they get that dirty. They get the normal dirt, wear and tear, marbles, debris on the front of the car, but the back is a weird place to get dirt.
Odd place for that. Yeah.
It's a really weird place to get dirt. So
and I would also be remiss if I didn't mention BOP. Mercedes is just getting all the good BOP in like all of the races right now.
I would say BOP at this race was pretty darn fair.
It was pretty darn fair, but Mercedes again is edging out BOP.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at the results,
different series, IMSA and SRO,
they didn't edge out BOP by much.
Not as much as they did in IMSA.
No, IMSA, your beloved brand, got screwed. That's okay. It happens.
No, but they got screwed by the beloved sponsor of IMSA, WeatherTech.
Yeah, sure, whatever. I don't know.
But I want to make a note about BOP. Mercedes did look a little quicker.
A tad, but I would actually say that it was very even. If you look at the results, and would you pull them up for me? I believe that the top 3 cars, which was a Mercedes, Porsche, Mercedes, finished the race at like 1.4 seconds across all 3 cars. So over 12 hours to have a second gap across 2 different manufacturers, BOP is pretty darn good. I wouldn't complain at all about BOP in that race.
I'm not complaining as such, as just making a note.
Somebody's a little butthurt about the Rolex 24 over there.
I'm very butthurt about the Rolex 24.
Get over it. It's BOP. All right. Who took overall victory? Give me the top 3.
I'm not going to start there. I'm going to start at the bottom step of the podium.
Okay.
The bottom step of the podium was taken by the number 999 Group M Racing Mercedes-AMG GT3, driven by Rafael Marciello, Michael Grenier, and the Bathurst, ringer of Mauro Engel.
Yes, he is.
Because, oh my God, he is so fast out there.
He was blisteringly fast. He was the one that also punted the other Mercedes, the winning one, and got a drive-through penalty in I think it was like 30 or 45 minutes, nearly made up the entire drive-through penalty, which is a 26-second delta, I think, at that track.
That's crazy.
He nearly made up 26 seconds to come back and win that race.
That's just stupid fast.
Like a 20-minute or 20 to 30 minutes. That's crazy.
That is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
He was
So that's the bottom step of the podium. Mauro Engel, Michael Grenier, and Rafael Marcello. Then the second step, you had the number 912 Montai Racing Porsche. That was driven by, Thomas Prenning, Mathieu Jaminet, and Matt Campbell. Again, the other Bathurst ringer. So Campbell and Mauro Engel, those two are, in my opinion, two of the best drivers around Bathurst.
That car looked really cool in the green and yellow.
I love that livery.
The Grello.
Such a good livery.
Yep.
But the winner was a Mercedes. It was the number 75 car, the Sun Energy 1 car. That was Luca Stolz, Jules Gounon, and Kenny Habul in the Mercedes-AMG GT3.
Jules Gounon did a fantastic job at the end of that race.
He did.
Yep,
he did. He
ran down Mauro Engel. He forced an error from Mauro Engel and took that win. And it was awesome to watch.
Yeah, very well done to all those. And just for note, Valentino Rossi, the legend there, he came 6th with the BMW M Team WRT with Augusto Farfus and Maxime Martin. So that was.
Thought he got 5th, but dang
6th,
it, nearly a top 5.
Not 5th, 6th.
Yep. Cool to see though.
Very cool to see. Agree. So that is your results from the Bathurst 12-hour race.
I believe that will be the last time that we see that version of the Porsche run this race as well.
Yeah.
Which one is that?
That was the 991 version of the GT3R.
Okay.
IMSA has debuted the 992 GT3R.
I wonder if they had the 992 at this race, which I don't know why it wasn't there.
It wasn't. This is its first. The Rolex is its first real homologated race, so they just haven't had it rolled out yet.
Okay.
It wasn't ready for use in the other seasons yet, from my understanding.
I wonder if they would have been able to win that race if they had the new car.
No.
Okay. Great race, regardless.
Yes, agree. But shall we move on to some other news?
Sure.
Let's move on to some Formula One news. And there is some things we need to talk about with manufacturer.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about, Derek.
Oh, yeah.
That would be Ford entering F1, partnering with Red Bull.
Lot to go on here. So, Red Bull released their new car, right? Alongside releasing this partnership announcement.
Yep.
We first talk about their new car, because their new car came out, and they basically rolled last year's car out. And they said, here's the new car. And everybody went, what's different? And they went, oh.
Nothing.
The one last year.
Do you see this one little fleck of paint?
Just
there it is. That's the difference.
A couple sponsors changed here and there, yada yada. Anyway, last year's car is basically what they're running for this year. I don't blame them. They won last year. It's fine. But then they announced this, and this is the big news.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Ford is coming to partner with Red Bull in Formula One in 2026. Hello?
Huh. This is a big deal.
This is a big deal. I'm going to pose you the question. Is it just marketing, or is it actually for manufacturing purposes?
What manufacturing?
I don't know.
At least in IMSA, you can take your road car there, or Le Mans, or SRO, or whatever, and you could get data out of running that car with that engine, do whatever you want to. This is Formula One. This is pure marketing. There's no manufacturer. I shouldn't say that. There's teeny bits of manufacturer gain. It's not no, but There's not much manufacturer gain.
There is absolutely nothing gained for
No,
manufacturers.
that's not true. Now, Ford was back in... When did they leave?
2004 was the last time Ford was in F1.
And who were they with?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm going to look that up.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head either. I suspect... No, wait. Who was the other manufacturer that's coming into... or trying to come into F1?
You ready?
Yep.
You got two more. You've got Audi, and you've got the other American manufacturer.
Which was?
Cadillac. So we have got a Ford v Cadillac battle.
Oh, God.
And we also have, in IMSA, a Ford v Corvette battle.
Yeah. Okay.
Ford and GM have, I guess we are really putting up some wars here.
Dodge is just hands off. They're like, we're done with that. We'll just stick to drag racing for now, which is probably a good call for them. But Ford getting into F1 with Red Bull is huge. I
just found out who Ford used to, let's see, it would have been with Jaguar Racing.
That's right, because they bought him at that time. That's right. Okay, so this is a big deal for American sports. And I posed you the question. In the next 10 years, will F1 get to NHL, MLB, NFL levels of sporting in America?
No.
Why?
Because Americans don't care.
Do they?
They don't.
I disagree.
You think Ford will be as big as the NFL and the Super Bowl? The most watched thing on TV in America every single year.
I wouldn't say... Well, it depends on how they do this. It depends on a couple things. This whole deal, I suspect, is very, very, very big for Drive to Survive, the Netflix F1 documentary, right? That has brought F1 to America. They've done a fantastic job with it. You've watched it, right?
Yeah.
I've watched it. They've done a great job. They've told the story behind the drivers, the drama, the crews, how the races play out, and then even some stuff even further behind the scenes, out of the paddock, in like personalities and all that stuff, which is good. If F1 can take one of the 3 races, they're throwing 3 races in America. They want the American market share. If they can put one of those to become the flagship race, the Indy 500, the Daytona 500, the Rolex 24 equivalents in America for F1, they have a chance at getting enough eyeballs on the broadcasts to get to the NFL, the NHL, all those big sporting manufacturers. I think that they could do it.
I think it's an uphill battle because Americans don't care about F1.
I think you underestimate how much pull Drive to Survive had.
I think I probably am. You're probably right about that. But I'm just thinking, right, you've got Miami, you've got Texas, and you've got now coming Vegas, which, by the way, I was just at Vegas, and that is going to be a ridiculous race to watching them go down the strip. Oh, my God, what on earth is going to happen there? But you're going to have, literally, it's going to be amazing. I'm going to see, I can picture it now. On one side of the Vegas Strip, you'll have Ford banners. On the other side, you'll have Cadillac banners.
Or will it be like Qatar oil banners all the way down? Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fly Emirates.
Right.
Vegas.
Probably. But how do I put this? I like that they're getting into F1. I hate that F1 is so political right now and so money focused. That's awful. And will it change in the near future? No, not at all. Not even close. Which Grand Prix will take the equivalent of the Indy 500, the Daytona 500, those big races in America? I don't know. I can't see it being Miami, to be honest.
I hope it's not Miami or Vegas.
I can see it being Vegas because it would be a destination for people to go to, and it has the infrastructure to handle a lot of people.
Does it?
There's a billion hotels over there.
Which are already all sold out all the time.
I don't know.
Yes, they are.
Are they really?
Oh my God, yes. While I was in Vegas for like 5 days, there was like 4 separate conventions that were happening there at the same time.
Yeah. I guess there's that. But I don't know. What's the other one? Austin?
Yeah, that I think could work.
There's
It's got
no
enough
way.
space around it to handle that.
It's not a destination.
That is relevant.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, without having heritage, which the two previous races, the Indy 500 and the Daytona 500, they have heritage behind them, right? Without having heritage, it has to be something unique or a destination for people to want to watch or go to. Miami and Vegas have that. Austin is in the middle of Texas. There's nothing there.
Which is amazing.
Yes, for me and you, it's great. But for the rest of America, they don't care.
I just think of where they're going to put people. There's not enough places to put people in Vegas.
I think that there are. I think with the hotels changing pricing, doing whatever they want, there will be enough area for them to support a big population. Miami, sure, there's hotel space, but God, that track layout was a disaster. It was terrible. There was no good passing points. I don't think Vegas will be any better.
Remind me, when does Vegas get in? Is it 2023 or 2024?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Double check.
It's one of those 2 years. But if Ford is coming in 2026.
It's 2023 on November 19th.
Oh, God. Okay.
And
Ford is coming
while
in.
I was there, I remember seeing all the banners for it.
Were there really? Wow.
There was, oh my God, on the strip, there were like the digital signs just Formula
F1?
One Vegas.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. At least they're marketing it. That's good. Do you think by the time that Ford gets here, by the time that Cadillac gets here, Audi gets here, will they have an established race in America that will pull a big enough audience for Ford and all of them to want to throw their might at this? That's the question. Because I think that that's the gamble that they're going for here. I don't think it's too much of a gamble for Ford. I think it is for Cadillac because Andretti doesn't have an in yet, right? He's trying to buy his way in, and F1 says you can't buy anything because they don't. They love money, and at the same time, they don't care about money. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's true.
They just have too much of it at this point. Audi kind of really doesn't care about the F1 thing or the American thing. They're more worried about the German Grand Prix or Europe in general, right?
This is all quite funny because do you remember who used to be hoping to partner with Red Bull?
Porsche.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they got booted to Ford? What the heck?
But you know what? Fun fact. Ford still to this day remains the third most successful engine manufacturer in F1.
Really?
To this day.
Wow. That's cool.
That's actually kind of wild to think about. So I'm a fan.
I am too. I would love to, honestly, I think they're going to do really well. They're putting in a Red Bull, right? But it will be 2026, maybe 2027, where Red Bull start blowing up. Christian Horner's all pissed at Ford, and it takes 2 years to sort out their troubles, right? For 2 years, that's a lot of time. That's what my guess is, my best guess. 2 years of engine woes. I suspect they don't win a championship in 26. Maybe they do in 27. But if Ford can blast out to everybody that they're back to being F1 engine manufacturer champions, that holds some weight.
It does.
That holds some weight. What a weird, I don't know. What a weird thing.
Wild.
Ford's back into Red Bull of all the partners.
Yeah.
They must have paid a lot of money.
I'd love to know what Jim Farley paid there.
Dumb
many
money.
millions?
Very dumb money. If Porsche was on the table and they rejected them for Ford, it's dumb money.
Well, do you think it's in the billions?
I don't know. I don't think they have that much cash to throw around.
Mid hundreds of millions.
I don't think they have that much cash to throw around. I don't know how they did this. They're making money as a car manufacturer, but not a ton. They're not Tesla, just with a ton of market share.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
I guess just quantity of how many F-150s you can sell.
That's what they do.
The Ford Red Bull F-150 F1 car.
And like
F1 ... 50.
Do you think it'll be the F-150, F-250, F-350 with the engine models?
Yes. Yes.
What? Why get into F1 if you're Ford? Like, think about the demographics.
It's not a good old boy in Kentucky.
No. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I just picture the good old boy from Kentucky goes to the Monaco Grand Prix.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Would you like some caviar? What the hell is that caviar, son?
I mean, they go to Austin, Texas, right? Maybe we're wrong. I don't know. They all put on cowboy hats and get boots and yeah.
I love this so much.
What a weird partnership, dude.
It is a weird partnership. But let's move on to a race with some actual good old boys, shall we?
Okay.
Because this past weekend was also NASCAR, the Clash at the Coliseum.
Oh, boy.
And I think we need to talk about this race.
Let's do it.
So the NASCAR Clash at the Coliseum is a race that doesn't matter.
No, it's an exhibition event.
Yep, a preseason exhibition event that means nothing to anyone for any reason, for any why, how, whatsoever. Pointless.
I'm sure the winners get paid an amount of money. I don't know what it is.
Surely. Yeah.
There must be big marketing going on the West Coast. I know.
Looks like a lot of empty seats in the top. Oh, that picture doesn't.
There's some.
There's some empty seats up there.
But they're also filling out, a football stadium. And it must take a lot because they paved this track specifically for this race. And then the next weekend, they erase it.
Do they really just tear it out?
Yeah, they tear it out. They tear it out, and the football field goes back to what it was.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. It's crazy. The amount of, engineering and setup that they do for a single weekend is wild. Yep. This race is an exhibition event where the show, in quotes, is more important than the racing.
Absolutely.
Which is fine. It's an exhibition event, right? But what I mean by that is every celebrity that NASCAR could pull in, they did. From what I heard, it was like an hour of pre-race, and they were just ripping through celebrities, getting quotes, getting interviews, just talking to people. It was all the people that they could find. Everyone from Hollywood that they could pull, they tried to.
Hi, Bob. What do you think about this? Oh, it's great. Hey, Johnny, what do you think about this?
Yep. And they also had, what do they call it? It's like the shootout system that they have. They run 6 to 8 cars in a 10-lap sprint or something small like that, and to set the field for the actual race. I don't think you can fit 43 cars on this track, which is what a normal NASCAR grid is. So they have to narrow the field down, and they do that by these shootout sprints.
Because the track itself is only, a quarter mile long?
It's tiny. The lap times are under 15 seconds. It's insane. Yeah. So the event itself is quite a spectacle. It's perfect for California because it's small,
weird like California.
Weird. A lot of celebrities. That's kind of what they care about over there. That's fine. For me and you, the perspective of the race fan, we're not real interested in this because there's not actually anything on the line. And oh boy, the racing was absolute garbage. It was terrible.
It's so bad. Watching the highlights of this is just watching highlights of cautions.
It looked like an iRacing rookie race. I kid you not. It was more cautions than an iRacing rookie race.
It looked like me trying to run Bathurst.
It was terrible. I think it was on average something like 7 to 10 laps. Every 7 to 10 laps, there was a caution. From what I heard, there was a stat. It took them an hour and 20 minutes to run the last, I think it was 50 laps of the race.
Oh, my God.
Where a lap was 15 seconds. That's awful.
So bad.
It was just almost every 3 laps they were crashing, spinning, yellows out. It's not like in IMSA where if someone spins, they can hold off on the caution, see if the car will refire and go around. Because it's such a small lap time, you don't have time. When someone spins, you just have to throw the caution for safety.
You have a singular second, and if they're not back, it's gone.
Right. If they're at the back of the field, by the time they stop sliding, the first place car is there. It's crazy. The Clash at the Coliseum is an odd event. It's a really odd event.
It's so weird. The quality of racing is such garbage.
It's terrible.
If you're a race fan, you're watching this just going, what on earth am I looking at right now?
It's not, yeah.
It's so bad.
Well, it's entertaining. And if people want to watch NASCAR's crashing, I give you the Clash at the Coliseum.
It's very gimmicky.
It is very gimmicky, but it's an exhibition event. Who won it?
The winner was Martin Truex Jr., followed by Austin Dillon and Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch in the top 3. Wow. And
Not
oddly
Kurt
enough,
Busch, but Kyle Busch.
they did a, what was it, a medal podium?
Yes, they did a medal ceremony.
Yes, that's what they called it, a medal ceremony for the top 3
because it's the
drivers.
Coliseum and the Olympics and the yada yada.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you think about that?
You know what? I'll say this. NASCAR's trying different things. Good on them for doing that.
They're throwing the book at it.
Good on them for doing that. That's what they need to do. The playoff system has been interesting.
Austin Dillon's mustache is amazing.
Yes, it is.
Oh, my God.
The playoff system has been interesting. It's been a little polar for people. Some people love it. Some people hate it. It created the Ross Chastain Hail Melon moment.
Side note, speaking of which, that is now legal.
Yes, it is.
NASCAR has put out the official word. You can't do that, Ross Chastain.
As it should be.
Should
for
it?
Safety. Yes, as it should be. We talked about that in the previous
We
one of the
did,
previous
but
episodes.
I still love it.
Yeah, that's fine. It's better it went down like this because it will go down in NASCAR lore as one of those moments,
Yeah.
right? It's one of those crazy moments where somebody pulled something out that should have been illegal and got them a huge advantage.
What would the lap time be if you tried to ride the wall at the Coliseum? 4 seconds.
Could honestly be super fast. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm just thinking that now. If
Yep.
you rode the wall at the Coliseum, your lap time, 6 seconds.
Could be super fast. Yep. Yep. What a weird event. Lots of cautions, kind of messy, bad racing, but entertainment value, kind of there.
Oh, it's entertaining for sure.
Yep.
So that's all the news I got. Quickly chatting about some upcoming races. Before we do, let us know in the comments of this video or via social. What did you think about the Clash at the Coliseum? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What'd you think? But moving on to some upcoming races this weekend. We do have some racing to watch. It's going to be a little harder for us to watch it, but it is watchable somehow.
What might that be?
The Asian Le Mans Series
Oh.
is not racing in Asia.
I think it's ELMS is European.
ALMS.
Yeah.
Yes, the Asian Le Mans Series,
Okay.
not the American Le Mans Series.
I think you can find that on YouTube somewhere.
I think it's out there somewhere, how, shape, way, or another, but
Yeah.
you can get to it. But the Asian Le Mans Series is actually racing in Dubai. They have the 4 hours of Dubai. And would we consider Dubai part of Asia?
The heck?
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
No.
The European Le Mans Series is racing in Patagonia.
Are
we sure?
That's
Yeah.
odd.
Would we consider Dubai part of Asia?
No.
I mean, it's the Middle
No.
East, so it's kind of Asia, kind of not Asia. It's kind of
No.
gray area, right?
That's an odd one.
But yeah, the Asian Le Mans Series is racing the 4 hours of Dubai this upcoming weekend. Where
All right.
I believe they are still racing Le Mans spec cars. So P2s, P3s, and the GTE, not GT3 spec cars.
Still with GTE. Okay.
I believe this is the last year for that, yes.
All right.
So yeah, that's what's coming up.
And I'll be running Bathurst.
You will be, yes. Watch iRacing feed. What team are you racing with?
Event Matrix. I can try to throw up on our socials the link to the
Yeah, let us know.
to the we'll have it streaming on Twitch, so you guys can take a look.
Throw it up.
Yep.
Yeah, let's watch you have 0 iRacing points for
All right.
contact.
I won't spin.
Mark his words.
I won't spin.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
All right, so that's all I got. You got anything else?
I do not.
It's going to wrap us up for episode 174. Thank you so much for watching and listening. If you're watching on YouTube, please do leave a like, subscribe, and drop a comment on the video. If you're listening on audio, please leave us a 5-star rating and a review on your platform of choice. You know, Apples and Googles and Spotify's and all that. And don't forget, follow us on social. Facebook is We Are Auto. Instagram is We Are Auto _. YouTube is We Are Auto. And our website is weareauto.io, where you can go to catch some of your favorite past races. So, thanks again. Catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.